What's the biggest thing for you to improve on, stepping up and being a starter?
I think everything. Playing the run, being stout as the run. Because I'm not as big of a guy, so being stout as the run and just everything. Improving at a fast rate. I think I got a lot to prove. So.
Okay.
Bye. Welcome to 28 after. I'm your host, LeBron LB L Boogie B Brian, Big Brian, whatever you choose. We have a very, very, very special guest, Paki O'Meara, Cedar Rapids, Iowa native, played running back at the University of Iowa. Special teams ace. I'm sure a lot of Hawkeye Nation will remember his name. Did a lot of great things from 2006 to 2010. Currently is a world traveler, has been a world traveler for some years now, been really, really doing his thing. I really, really admire his courage and his fearlessness to go to and live in different areas of the country and live as a local and work as a local. And it's just so cool. So happy and lucky to have him on to get his perspective on some things. There you go. What's up, bro? I can hear you.
I'm new to the Zoom stuff.
Yeah. How are you, man?
It's been a while.
Yeah. It's been a long time, man. I appreciate you carving out the time. So yeah, like I was telling you before, I called this the After Effect podcast. We've had 20 plus years of athletic experience, and I feel like our stories are valuable. But a lot of fans or people really don't know the details of it. So this is just a platform for us to kind of relive some good moments, some bad moments, tell our stories, and kind of try to push the culture forward as much as we can.
Awesome, man. It's a good idea. I like the idea behind it.
Yeah, definitely, man. So let me ask you this, bro, before I dive into your childhood. How have you grown? First of all, I want to know where you are, but before you answer that, how have you grown in the last 8 months just with COVID and all these different like racial injustices and stuff like that? How have you grown emotionally, spiritually, physically, in just any of those experiences in those kinds of spaces the last 8 months?
Yeah, I think the last 8 months, as far as the COVID thing, we didn't really get affected by it over here. The country was closed.
Okay.
Everything's pretty much normal. We had a couple slow months, but it's all back to normal,
Okay.
man. It's been kind of weird to look at the rest of the world struggling with it, and we're all sweet over here.
Yeah. And where exactly are you at right now?
In Western Australia, Margaret River. It's like the very southwest.
Western Australia.
Yeah, it's pretty secluded.
Okay.
I guess is why it was easy
Yeah.
to shut everything down. But
Okay. And you've been there. How long have you been there?
I've been home base here for about 4 years, I think.
Okay. Because I know you were a few other places before that.
Yeah.
Like I knew you were kind of like moving around.
Yeah. I was doing a lot of traveling. I was in between Costa Rica and Northern California for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then traveling all kinds of places. But
Which is so cool, man. So let me dive into your childhood, bro. I know you were raised in Cedar Rapids. I did some research on you, and I read that you have your high school record for 349 rushing yards in one game. So just kind of like paint me a picture on like the culture in Iowa growing up. When you did you have any influences or mentors that kind of influenced you to play football and excel in academics as well?
yeah, so we moved to Cedar Rapids, Iowa when I was 10 or 11.
Okay.
That I was born in North Carolina, and when I was a baby,
Okay.
we moved to Australia.
Oh wow.
We lived in Melbourne, between Melbourne and Samoa. Samoa is the
Oh. Okay. So is that what drew you back to live there now?
yeah, I guess so. I'm a citizen here, so it was
Okay.
easy
Okay.
to do. But yeah, as far as playing football, I always played sports as a kid, and that was the one that made more sense. I played soccer as well. And
Yeah.
I was a bit too physical, I think, for the sport. I kept getting in trouble.
Yeah. You're always a physical guy, yeah.
Football.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, man. So talk about just like when you started like coming to your own in high school, and you, like we talked about earlier, you rushed for 349 yards, and I'm not sure how your recruiting process went, but I'm sure growing up in Cedar Rapids, you probably always wanted to be a Hawkeye. So let's talk about maybe your decision to go to the University of Iowa. What other schools looked at you, during your career, or if any at all. Just kind of try to relive those moments if you can.
Yeah, I wasn't recruited very much at all.
Hmm.
University of Northern Iowa offered me a scholarship, and I got the chance to walk on at Iowa.
Hmm.
I was lucky enough. My grandparents had a bit of money, maybe for a couple of years of college, so
Hmm.
I was able to make the choice to not take the scholarship. And
Well, okay.
yeah, as a kid in Iowa, I always wanted to play for Iowa.
Of course, you want to play for you want to play for the Hawks.
And the idea was I better earn a scholarship within a couple
Exactly.
of years. Otherwise, I'm out of pocket and I wouldn't have any
Exactly.
money after.
Exactly. And so I know you redshirted in 2006, and then me and you we met in 2007 when I came to Iowa City. But just you being like a special teams ace, man. Talk about some moments that stand out to you during your career. I mean, obviously we were both a part of the 2009 season, that 11-2 season, the magical season, all those close games, all those relationships that we built over that year. But 2008 was cool too. We started off bad, but we ended strong, and we blew South Carolina out in the Outback in the Outback Bowl. So just talk about maybe some moments that stand out to you. I mean, I looked at some of your highlights. You made so many special teams plays, so many big plays, big like blocks on punt blocks and stuff like that. Talk about some moments that just stand out to you during your career.
I definitely always the team wins, the bowl wins, the Orange Bowl. Obviously, that was huge. I think the game against South Carolina was more fun because I mean, even at halftime,
Yeah, yeah.
we were
It was
trying
like
to just not. We
it
got
was
it
like
in the
30-7.
and, but keep focused, like play the game out, you know.
Mm-hmm. Right, right, right.
We knew I think that was probably my favorite game.
Yeah,
Everybody was jumping around, having fun, making
yeah. It was
plays.
fun. Yeah,
We had easy, and just celebrate with everybody in the locker room after, and then
right. You
go
know
out
that.
on the town.
Oh yeah,
That was just
yeah,
after big wins like that,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. You know the vibes, bro. So talk about like post college. Like, did you always know? Because what's been so interesting to me is just to see you kind of unapologetically be you and get into like photography, get into world traveling. When in 2020, right, we're such in a technology world that's not really common. So, but I felt like I always felt like you were so courageous and fearless, like to be who you were and to go into whatever you wanted to do, right? So, did you always know that you wanted to travel the world and kind of live as a local and work as a local wherever you went, or did you try different jobs out in Iowa or different places in the United States and then just figure it out from there? Like, how was that process?
Yeah, it was the whole thing with football ending. You know, um, it just kind of ended abruptly, and you're kind of left sitting there wondering, you know, who are you? What do you like?
Exactly,
Everything that
exactly,
is all football.
exactly.
And I always wanted to travel. We grew up moving a lot,
Mhm.
moving countries, you know. So it just seemed like, you know, it was time to just get out of the U.S., go explore,
Yeah, yeah,
learn about other people and other places, and
yeah,
learn about myself. Really, what do I
yeah.
like? What am I good at?
Hmm.
Because before that, it was all just football,
Hmm.
and I felt like I didn't develop any other passions besides just playing
Besides
sports.
football, I'm telling you, same here.
It was finished, and I'm standing there like, who am I? What do I do?
Right,
Uh,
right, right.
do
So yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm totally with you. So like,
you are you doing the same thing?
yeah, 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 yeah. I literally am just with the acting and just. I mean, I've been acting for about 3 years now, taking a bunch of classes and just really trying to figure out like why I like storytelling, or like why I was drawn to it 3 years ago and stuff like that. And like you say, it's just a journey, man. So, what moments stand out to you during your world travels? Like you said, you're in Australia right now, and you lived in North California for a while, and then you were somewhere else outside of the United States for a while as well. Um, when you got to these places, questions that I always wanted to ask, how did you know how to navigate? Was it just like a day-to-day thing? How did you know like where to maybe even apply for jobs to make money to like take care of yourself while you lived at these places? Like,
Yeah, I didn't know anything really. Just kind of figure it out as you go. Very
yeah,
often you don't speak the language even, so you're just trying to figure out how to be safe, I guess.
yeah,
Money generally just volunteering for a place to sleep or something
okay,
like that.
okay,
And I was always back in the U.S. for 3 or 4 months working. I was working actually on a weed farm in California for a while,
okay,
a few months later, and then traveled beyond that. When I was in Costa Rica, I was running a little bakery. I
okay.
was the head baker of this little bakery somehow. Uh, earning a
Somehow,
little
some way, yeah.
$20 a day kind of thing.
Okay,
Uh, yeah, now I'm been working as a chef in Australia for about 4 years now.
wow.
Kind of fallen into that as my career, I guess. I really enjoy it.
And what kinds of food do you make?
It's Australian brewery food, man. It's
Okay,
fancy enough, but
yeah,
still easy. We got some fancy platters and stuff like that, but we got
okay,
burgers, pizzas, and all that too.
okay. Man,
Easy, good
that's
food.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's just so dope, man. Because I remember reading an article uh, about like I think it was like an IO football article where it's like where are you at right now, and and they did a special on you, and they did a special on Anton Narinsky. Obviously, he's an actor out in LA. I worked out with him a couple of times. We've linked up a few times, when I was out in LA. And I always just remember hearing that uh, like the critics or the reviewers would say like, well, yeah, we don't really know where this kind of life ends, whether you're a world traveler or artist, we don't know where this ends, but we know, they're going to do their best. And I was just like, I remember thinking in my head, like, I don't feel like it ever ends, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
you can travel the world until you die. You can be an artist and you can act and you can make music and do whatever you want to do in the arts until you die. So I just remember being so entrenched and just so curious and like, man, like I wonder what that experience is like for him. Like just we're waking up on a day-to-day basis, like not really being super interactive with the world, like not being integrated with the world, like maybe checking your social media here and there, maybe a couple times a month,
yeah,
but really just living life and really just like you said, understanding where people come from and how the world works. And it sounds like your journey has been just so dope, bro. Like,
yeah. I don't know what's next. I mean, this year has been a little weird. I'm not able to travel this year, but
yeah,
so I'm sitting and working and trying to
yeah,
save up some money, and hopefully next year will be different.
yeah.
I'll try and get back to Samoa. I've been trying to go to Samoa every year for at least a
Okay,
month or 3 months. The little island my mom's from.
okay,
Uh, that's number one on my list right now. As soon as the borders open, I'll try and meet some family over there.
yeah.
But I'm traveling less and less in the last few years. I feel like I'm kind of settling down, and
Okay, you feel like you settling down?
probably going to be in Australia. I think it
Yeah,
just makes sense. I don't
yeah,
really
yeah,
want to come to the U.S. to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah. Do you ever miss your family, see the Rapids, or do you all keep in touch, or is it like they kind of
That's
just
the
let
only
you do
reason.
your thing, or what?
Yeah, I miss my family a lot. And we don't talk too much anyway because of the time difference is pretty
Yeah,
hard, and I'm working a lot. But yeah, I miss them every day. That's the only reason I really want to go back at
yeah,
all. I mean,
definitely, definitely. Man,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I totally understand that, man. I really commend and salute your energy and your courageousness. Uh, I'm really, and I want to tell you face up, bro. I'm really working towards like trying to like live my life freely. I want to get to a point where I can at least come where you are for like a month or two and just like kind of like just take it all in, no social media, no phones, and just like live in that space. Like, I'm so curious about just, how the world works in these different places. And I think that mentally, I'm sure that you are so far ahead from just the normal millennials because you've lived in these different spaces and you know how to kind of just take time to yourself and kind of just like not let this 2020 technology world kind of take over your brain and make you feel like depressed or just any of those things and kind of just take over your life. And so I've always admired that for so many years now.
Yeah, I think you got to be unplugged, especially if you're somewhere interesting. There's no reason to be on your phone. Really,
Yeah.
you should be looking and hearing and
Yeah.
just everything there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, totally, bro. Man, last question. What would you say is Paki O'Meara's after effect, right? You did sports for so many years and so many wins, so many losses, so many injuries and pain and sorrow and triumph. What would you say is your after effect or your aftershock? What were some lessons that you learned that you would take and that you move with now or that you would give to the next generation if you had the chance to?
I think the biggest thing is, we got to practice adversity a lot.
All the time, yeah.
Just sports, I wouldn't say I learned it from sports. I learned that probably from my mom and dad.
Yeah.
You get to practice with that adversity a lot.
Yeah.
And that translates into your life afterwards. When you encounter a difficult day at work or a difficult day in the world or something, you got that training already to be calm and deal with that. And I think that's the biggest thing that I would take away from sports. I mean, I definitely would say that.
Right, man. Same here, bro. Same here. Well, yeah, man. That's actually all I had. I was just wanted to get you on real quick just to get your perspective. And I've always been so intrigued and interested in your journey. And that's all I had, man. I know you just got off work. I know you're super tired, man. So I'll let you get to it. Yeah, continue to kill it. Continue to travel the world. Continue to be blessed. And I'll try to do my best to stay in contact, man. And you do the same.
Absolutely, man. Good to see you.
Definitely.
Love you, man.
Good to see you. Love you too, bro. Peace.
See you, man.
All right. Yes. So, I know that episode wasn't that long, but Paki is in Australia. He's been there for 4 years. Like you said, he's a chef now. But we were teammates at Iowa. He grew up in Iowa, and I always felt like we had a pretty close relationship, especially in the weight room. We used to be partners all the time. He was really strong. He had a very strong squat. He had that very high squat. So even though he was a running back, we used to squat together sometimes. So yeah, just happy just to get him on. I know he said he just got off work, so didn't want to keep him on for too long, but just really wanted to show, the different places football takes you and the different relationships that you're able to build and cultivate from the game of football, right? So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you rate and comment on all podcasts. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon. Make sure you buy the merch. Everything is coming full circle. So until next time, peace.